Now, what's a self join? Self join is when I am joining the table with itself. For example, I have a table A. I want to join this table A with itself. But why would I do that? I would only use a self join where when there is a relationship between the two columns. I will repeat myself. I will use a self join when there is a relationship between two columns of the same table. And in case of self join, I will use, I mean to say both the tables, like what I will join the table with itself. Simple. How do I do it? Let's take a scenario. I have a table which I call as employee data. Okay. Now inside employee data, I have something as employee ID. Now I have employee name, then I have location, then I have manager ID. Suppose I have manager ID 1. This manager ID 1 is say Alex. Say this is in US and Alex has a manager. Say Alex is not having any manager. He is himself a manager. Okay, he's not reporting to anyone. Now say there is employee ID 2, say Roy, again US, but Roy has a manager Alex. Okay, same case. 3, say Priya, she's in UK and she also has a manager Alex. Say 4, employee Bob, say India, and his manager is Priya. I have one more employee, say Rex. I say he's in UAE, and his manager is say again Alex. Now, if I ask you, I want to know the manager names now for each and every employee. How can I do it? Some of the guys might have a question like, if I'm maintaining a manager ID, why shouldn't I again maintain the manager name? But that's not going to solve my purpose, right? Because it's a common logic. If there's a manager, he's itself an employee of the company. You guys follow me till now? Then how to write the queries and all, that's a secondary question. But do you understand the problem? The problem statement is, I have a table which I call as employee data. Now for each and every employee, I have a manager ID. Now it's whenever, if somebody is a manager, he or she is itself an employee of the company, right? You guys understand?
Yes.
Perfect. Now, if I want to know the manager name for each employee, how will I do it? I said, whenever you have a table and there is a relationship between two columns, I can use a self join. What is the relationship here? A manager ID 1. What is 1? Alex. So there's a relationship between manager ID and employee ID, isn't it? Because manager itself is an employee of the company. Now, how would I write the joins? Okay, I do something like select star from TBL employee. I name it A. I say inner join TBL underscore employee. I name it B. Now, even though this is the same table employee, but by the use of alias, I am considering like this is one independent identity or one independent table, and this is second independent table. Now I am joining the table with itself. I said there will be a relationship between the two columns, right? Now what's the relationship? On A dot employee ID is equal to B dot manager ID. Do you guys follow this? Usually they will ask you the such type of questions in the interview. What is self join? Can you explain the real case scenario? How do you write the query for self join? So if you guys understand it right now, it'll be very easy for me to explain you like data services or data migration going forward. Now what am I planning to do? I need A dot employee ID, A dot employee name, A dot location. But now since I need the manager name, that one I'm going to pick up from B table, right? So I will write B dot employee name. My goodness. A dot employee ID, then A dot employee name, A dot location, and B dot employee name. Because the reason I'm using B now, because I want, see, there's a join between employee ID and manager ID, right? And for table B, that is, I'm using an aliasing, right? So for B, I need the employee name. For what? For the manager ID. That's the reason I'm writing B dot employee name now. So this is how a typical self join works.
So inner join is the logic behind it to select A and B.
Okay, if you want to know the logic between A and B, what do I need initially? What was the problem statement? The problem statement was I need employee ID, I need employee name, I need location, and then I need the manager name of each employee. I have manager ID, but as I said, manager ID is manager itself is an employee of the company, right? So I do not need this one. I need data should be like one LX US blank, 2 Roy US LX, 3 Priya UK LX, 4 Bob India, then what's 3 Priya, 5 LX, sorry, 5 Rex UAE, and then LX. That's how I want the data. That's the reason I'm joining it based on employee ID and manager ID. I'm joining the table with itself. Now I need employee ID, employee name, location, and manager ID. Now from where will the manager ID come in? That will come from the B table. You see, this is the B table employee, which I'm calling as B. Then I will use B dot employee name. Why? Because if you see this table, when I'm joining this with itself, I'm using A dot employee ID is equal to B dot manager ID. You think what will happen internally? Internally, this manager ID table will be like one. You think of it now as a separate table. This will become like employee ID now. You understand?
So
You know how
basically, if I may answer this question, it will be Priya because manager ID, employee ID of A is 3 and manager ID 3
okay.
because it is joining on itself, right?
True. Let's go back to the basics. Wait.
Okay.
Yeah. See, you guys agree this is my table A. I am joining a table with itself.
Yeah.
Let's okay. You guys agree that this is my table A. Do you guys agree or not?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. What if I now say
The same table is employee
no,
table
no,
B.
no, 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 no. Wait, you have to be a little patient. Now, what if I say that one is LX, what is 3? Priya, and what is 5? LX. Okay. You agree this is a scenario right now. A LX blank, 2 Roy LX, 3 Priya LX, 4 Bob Priya, 5 Rex LX. You guys agree till now?
Correct.
Okay. Now what if I say I create a table like employee ID, employee name, and now I say 1 LX, 3 Priya. That's it. Now I say this is my table B.
Yeah.
Isn't this table B? Now you think of like this. When I try to join table A with table B, now think this is an inner join. 1 LX, there is no manager ID, nothing will come. 2 Roy 1. What is 1? 1 will be LX. So LX comes in. LX comes in. 3 is Priya. Priya comes in. LX comes in. Now that's how I'm creating the self join, right? I am internally what's happening. This sort of mechanism is happening internally because I am joining a table with itself. Now you have to think like this manager ID as a separate table and their names as a separate table. Now we can think of it as an inner join. That's how a self join works. And this is the reason I'm picking up A dot employee ID, A dot employee name, A dot location, and B dot employee name because I want this employee name coming from the table B. When I say table B, I mean aliasing. I have renamed this table employee first time as A, second time as B. Is this clear now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Now I need to go to the concept of subqueries. Again, if anyone has any questions on self joins, please speak up. I won't mind. I will repeat myself.
Can you learning is good, but where in data migration normally it happens? Any business case, a small business case. I don't want to waste anyone's time, but if that's okay, to give an example, where is this used in real business life scenarios?
Real business scenarios where it could be used as
Where a customer and a vendor are the same, something like that.
No. From the data migration point of view, we don't use it. I mean to say, I've never used it from the data migration point of view. But from the interview point of view, it's always better to know these basic things. Nobody is going to see, we will never encounter something like as what is a foreign key, primary key, and unique key, right? But from the interview perspective, it's always better to know things. You will be much more confident appearing for the interviews when you know tidbits. And this is one of the questions they ask in interview. What are the different types of joins?
But then, I mean, was my example related to it? Like, let's say a customer and a vendor are the same, and we need to migrate only a particular vendor, which is also a customer for a company. So, and now that in S4HANA, it's more of a BP structure, right? I'm sure you know. So, extract those vendors who are also our customers into a particular table, into a Z table or some business requirement, hypothetical business requirement. So this is where we can tell the
No, that cannot happen. Why? Because these are two different tables we are talking about, LFA1 and KNA1. Here, the relationship.
No. Sorry. With S4HANA, it's all BP. You remember?
That's fine.
Yeah.
I know. But the moment you go to BUT 000, you cannot segregate a vendor or a customer. It's only at the roles.
Yes.
Or at the BUT0 ID where you can segregate. I am saying when there's a relationship between two columns in the table itself.
Okay.
Not two tables. If there are two tables, then it's an inner join, left outer join, or right outer join. But I'm saying there can be a relationship between two fields of the same table, one table only.
Yeah. I mean, let's say there is a Z field which is flagged as some sort of a requirement earlier. So those kind of things. I mean, I'm talking from experience where I've seen some, you know, how KNA1 or an LFA1, you can have a Z include.
True.
To have customer includes when they have flagged certain. So that's what I was just thinking from a real life business scenario. Anyway,
okay.
Yeah.
From the definition, what is a subquery? Query within the query. When do I use it? Sometimes I can say like it's an alternative to my joins. When I want to make my life easy, I can give you a real life scenario. For example, I want to say extract or I want to create a report for materials which are only extended to plant A, B, C, D, right? There are two options I have. One, I go with the joins. I can write to the freshers. There are two, the tables that will be there for material will be Mara, which is header table, and then there will be Marci, which is a plant extension. Okay. Now I am asking you to give me the report for the materials which are extended to plant ABCD. So I said there can be two ways I can do it. One is joins, second one is subquery. Let's analyze joins first. So what will I do? Select star from Mara A, inner join Marci B on A dot Matner. Matner is material number. So please keep in mind all these table names, field names. It becomes handy. It will be really beneficial to you in the long run. So for us, when there is someone who is starting the journey of SAP, it's okay for him to call out the names like Mara, Marci, then Works or SPERR or LOEVM. That's fine. But the moment you have more years of experience, it doesn't look good. It's always better to name them like, hey, Mara is my header table. We should know it. Marci, okay, this is a plant extension. Works, that's a plant. Okay, LOEVM, that's a deletion indicator. So we should be familiar with all these column names, table names, just to make sure like people, at least the functional owners or the data owners know when we ultimately we are consultants, right? Business doesn't know this Mara and Marci and a Matner. They don't know it. So they only know material number. So we should be able to help them by telling them, okay, my Matner is ABC. They don't understand and it doesn't bring value to them, to be honest. Okay. So Matner is material number. Now, what was the filter criteria over here? Where B dot works, that is B dot plant, is equal to A, B, C, D. Now, what did I need? I needed only the materials. I can say select distinct A dot Matner. That's it. Now, what will this give me? It will give me all the materials that have been extended to plant ABCD. Okay. Now, what is the other way to do it? I can also do it using the subquery. How? What if I write something like select Matner from Marci, where works is plant is equal to ABCD. What will this give me? It will give me all the materials which are present in Marci. Marci is a table, and these materials should be extended to plant ABCD. The only reason I'm stressing on these terms, extended, plant, so that you guys remember it. There are like senior folks over here, it's okay. They will understand what I'm trying to say. But to all the freshers, it's really important to know these things. Okay. Now, what will this give me? Somebody can answer me. What type of materials will this query give me? I'm trying to get a list of materials from Marcy where plant is equal to ABCD. So what will this give me?
All the materials from plant ABCD.
Yes, which are existing in Marcy, right?
Marcy. Yeah, Marcy is the table.
Perfect. Now, what if I write something like select Matner from Mara? What will this query give me?
All the materials from Mara.
Material from all the plant. Yeah, no. Don't go to plant when I'm talking about Mara. We will only talk about plant sales org extension when we go to Marcy, MVKE. As of now, I'm just in Mara. So
Yeah,
it
a
will
general query. General query.
Yes, it will give me all the materials from Mara.
Yeah.
What if I write where Matner in? If you remember, I told you I cannot use equal to when I am expecting more than one value coming. I mean to say, when there will be more than one value. Do you remember when I was doing a query? I could write like where country is equal to India, but I cannot write where country is equal to India, comma China. No, I cannot do that. If I have more than one values, I have to use in. Now, since I am expecting more than one value over here, I will use in operator. Now, what will it give me? This will give me all the material that are extended to plant ABCD. And here I am telling the SQL from the SQL that I want only such materials that are coming from this query, right?
Yeah.
So isn't this a subquery? This is a typical case of subquery. I am writing a query within a query. I'm expecting some results from here, and then I'm just getting the materials from Mara where Matner in. That is, give me only those materials from Mara which exist in Marcy and are extended to plant ABCD. So this is how a typical subquery works. We will use this subquery sometimes, but most of the time we will go with joins. There is an important interview question. If you get a chance to work to use between joins and subqueries, what will you use? I will always go ahead with the joins because joins are faster than subqueries. Okay. Anyone has questions on subquery? I am simple basics. This is like I'm using a query within a query. This is my main query and this is my subquery. I'm just using a query within a query. That's it. I can do same stuff using the join, but sometimes to make my life easy, I can even use a subquery. Or what if, no, that's not the case. That's it. That's the subquery. If anyone has questions on subquery, please ask me before I move to data profiling and cleansing using information stewards. You will use it in the extraction criteria. Whenever we go into data services, you will use all these scenarios. You will use distincts, you will use groups, you will use where clauses, you will use and operators, or in, distinct, count, minimum, maximum, everything you are going to use, joins, subqueries. When it comes to data migration, the initial step is data extraction. So how will I extract data? There will be some filters right here and there. There will be joins involved between two tables. So we are going to use each and every. Okay, I can give you an example. For example, I need to extract data for pricing conditions. Now pricing conditions are too many tables: A620, A721, A728, 605, A9FI, 9FG, 9FH, everything is over there. Now what if see, in order to load the pricing condition, I need to extract the data for header table, which is my QNH. Okay, now let me give you a real-time scenario. I have a header table QNH, I have a table for price, that is QNP. But when it comes to the, I mean to say, tables that are there for pricing, they are A620, 623, A tables, like A065, something, something. Now, how will I get the data at the header level? I can simply say like select A dot star from KONH where knum is condition number, in select distinct knum from A620 union You guys know what is union, or you want me to elaborate on what is union and union all? Anyone who does not know what is a union?
I'm not familiar with union.
Perfect. Let me go back to SQL then, and I will first tell you what is union and union all before going to the answer. Give me a second. See, this is a table which has data for materials. Now, if you tell me you need a report where material type is equal to H, so what will I do? I will do select star from this where MTART is equal to ROH, right? Now, I should be getting all the materials which have a material type ROH. And let us say someone also asks me to generate a report where the material type is HALB. Now, this is giving me one data set where material type is only ROH, and this is giving me one more data set where the material type is HALB. Right? What if someone asks me, can you combine these two reports? I need data from Mara where I know somebody can tell me, hey, I can also write MTART is equal to ROH, sorry, MTART in ROH / HALB. But what if there are two tables? There is Mara 09, Mara 010. There can be two tables, right? And I need to get data from two tables, three tables, four tables. What will I do then? Then I can take the help of union.
So these are the different tables in across different systems, right? That's what
Okay.
09,
Yes.
07.
Yeah. See, if you ask me here, it doesn't make any sense to you. I know you can tell me, hey, why should I do this? I can also do something like this. HALB MTART in.
Correct.
Right? I know you guys can tell me like this, hey, why should I do it? But now I have both ROH and HALB. Now think, I have one more table, not Mara 09 only, but I have this table as well. Let's see the data over here. Select star from this table. How is the schema? Okay, I have ROH over here. Let me say I just need HALB from this table, and I need some other data from other table. I can do that, right? I can have two tables. Can't I have it?
Yes.
Now I cannot use MTART in because these are two different tables. So what can I do? I can use union. But in order to use union, the criteria is the schemas have to match 100%. I cannot do union when schema is not matching. What do I mean by schema is not matching? Schema means the fields or
structure.
exactly structure. If Matner is here, then all in the second table as well, first one should be Matner, then it should be RNAM, then it should be LAED, ANAM, VPSTA, same fields in the same sequence it should be. But let's do one thing for the sake of understanding. I say I need only Matner, comma, material type. This is one table and this is one more table. Now I made the schema exactly same, right? Matner MTAT. So I can have one set of data coming from one table and I can have one more set of data coming from another table. If I need to, I mean to say I need to club this data together, I can simply say union, okay? But in order to use union, the only thing is schemas have to be same, structure has to be same. Now if I run it, now this will give me the combined data, ROH and HALB. You guys follow me? How to use union? Now union has two types. One is union, one is union all. What is the difference? The difference is if, for example, I give you, I have table 1. Now table 1 has data something as Matner 1 and material name is ABC. Material number 2, DEF. Now let's say table 2. Now table 2 is 1 ABC, 2 not 2, say 4 XYZ, 5 like this. If I use union, then I will get the distinct of these two tables. The result will be distinct or unique. How the data will look like? 1 ABC, 2 DEF, then 4 XYZ, and 5 OPI. Now, if I use union all, it will not do any distinct. 1 ABC, 2 DEF, again 1 ABC, then 4 XYZ, and 5 OPI. Now, this is the difference between union and union all. Your union is going to give the distinct values or unique values from the result set. But in case of your union all the records are going to come. It will not be like distinct. Now, you guys understand? When do I use union?
But may I know, basically, like when you are able to get the data, in the union in unique way, then why do I need to use union or like take for instance if there are two worksheets, I'll give you example to you where one worksheet basically tells who are the employer, the sales partner who had done material these things, and second worksheet basically tells which are the material which have been sold at a high level. So union can serve a purpose, right? If in case I want to get information about which material sold the highest amount from which sales partners.
See, let's not mix it with
Example
SAP as of now.
from
Let us
real time.
let us give the basic SQL examples. Union makes sense to you because you want to get the distinct. Now the case would be, hey, I want to know the distinct employee names. Okay. Now somebody is not interested in that. He wants all the records. Whatever is coming from A, whatever is coming from B, they want all the records. I can give you one more example. What if someone is trying to club together money? 100 rupees from one table, 100 rupees from second table. So ultimately it's 200 rupees, right? So if it's employee only, that's okay. Employee one. Let's get the distinct out. That is union. But there might be some requirements when they say like, no, I want to get union all. I do not care about distinct. So you can use union all as well. You have all the options handy.
May I
Okay.
pose a question, something like in business
Please.
real life? Let's say a client has an ECC system which needs to be migrated to S4HANA and another S4HANA system already existing. So from ECC, we would need, the client requires data from both the systems to be collated and put into a single unified S4HANA system. So, correct me if I'm wrong, and maybe I'm trying to think ahead a bit. So, sorry for that to other participants. But for ECC system, we would use a union, and for the overall picture for the new S/4HANA system, we would use union all. Does that make sense? Like from the ECC system, you extract only the union, as in the distinct values, and then do an union all to have the data from the existing S/4HANA plus the distinct values from the ECC system.
But why would I do that? Why would I see? Ultimately, I would not see. This is not about union or union all. From the broader perspective, why would I just get something from legacy when it already is present in S4?
No, it's not present. Because let's say there are two company codes. One is using ECC, one is using S4HANA already. And then I have to combine both the systems into one unified S4HANA system.
Now, if there is already a company code, then it's again, for example, if in your, okay, let me show you here. You mean, say one Matner, one say Pepsi, it has a company code XYZ in legacy. Now, again, it's one Pepsi in Target, but now it's like YUI, a new company code. Again, if you use union or union all, again, this is distinct because distinct always means the combination. Distinct is not one or one Pepsi. No, distinct is the whole record. One Pepsi XYZ, one Pepsi YUI. If I say give me distinct material number, it will be one. If I say give me distinct material number and material description, it will be one Pepsi. If I say select distinct material number, material description, and company code, then it will be one Pepsi XYZ, one Pepsi YUI. Because distinct means the whole combination, the whole record.
What I understand is that, take for instance, like what I feel Gautam might be looking at, if in case I already have downloaded a data, I've migrated to S4HANA, maybe if the client tells, do a comparison and check, whether the data which is in ECC is 100% migrated to S4HANA, then I think so we can use union all just to check if the two worksheets are similar with the number of records.
But then the problem is the data schema is different, right? In ECC, you have...
Schema is correct. Data schema is almost similar.
For example, in a real-time scenario, there is information coming from multiple tables. Okay, Each table has data for each fiscal year, starting from 2010 till 2025. There are like 15 different tables. You are joining them, and that is, let us say, it is a sales amount for each year. So each table has a lot of customers and sales regions, all those things, right? And also there is a time characteristic as well, which is fiscal year. and one table has data for fiscal year 2010, another table has fiscal year data 2011, another one 2012, like that, right? And you are unioning all of those 15, and you want to say total amount of sales. But in that one, you don't care about the fiscal year. You want to know the total sales amount for all the customers or the company. What happens that time? You can say, you don't have to, because it's the same customer saying again, for all the tables, it will be same customers. So each customer, each table has 100 customers, 15 tables has 1500, but unique customers are only 100. In that case, do you need union or union all?
We will use union
right?
all, obviously, because there is money involved, right?
And you can aggregate it, right?
Yeah.
You can aggregate it for each customer.
Aggregation. So it will be union.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's how it is. Yeah.
Okay. Great. Thank you so much, buddy. Okay. Now let's. Yeah. It was amazing. Now let me go back to the extraction criteria. So I said when I'm migrating pricing data, I know I have multiple tables A620, 623, 6065. But when it comes to the header data, KONH and KONP, how will I create this header data now? So I can do something like at the header level, I need condition number, right? And the corresponding data from KONH. So what can I do? I can do select distinct KNum from this, union select distinct KNum from A621, union select distinct KNum from A777, something like that. So this is one of the scenarios, buddy, where I can use union in the real life scenario in my data migration programs. Okay.
So in this case, you're mentioning that this particular table of access sequence, this basically is used, where the customer could be common and they want to know what are the condition record for these customers.
No, this is not condition. This is not customer, buddy. This is condition number. KNum means condition number. At the header level, usually what clients do is like, they will give you the extraction criteria based on the A tables because they are not concerned about KONH. See, in the real life data migration projects, there are certain objects where your functional owner or the business, they are not interested in the header tables. I can give you example. For example, pricing condition. From the IDOC point of view, from the data migration point of view, if I do not have the header table KONH, I cannot configure my IDOC from BODS. So I need it. But for businesses, this does not matter KONH. For them, A tables and KONP matter. Same thing goes for bill of materials. For us data migration guys, we are pretty much interested in STZU table, but clients, they do not care about STZU. They only care about two tables, MAST, that is header material, and components, STPO. That's it. But we have to create that table. Otherwise, we will not be able to configure the IDOC. IDOC expects STZU as the header. Follow me. So whenever you come across pricing conditions, they will always give you this table. A620, 621, 623, 720. There are 120 plus, 130 plus condition tables. But they are not concerned about KONH. How will I create the KONH header? So I will extract data from KONH only for the condition numbers that are coming in these tables. Otherwise, I will end up having maybe 20 million records in KONH when I don't need them, because there are 120 plus condition tables like A620, and A620 is having some data, but the condition number at the header level will always be at KONH and KONP. Why will I get all the data from KONH when I only need the data from three tables, 620, 621, and 777? So this is how we deal with it in the real-time scenarios. I'm just giving you one example, but you will come across the situations where you will use these operators or SQL statements in the real life data migration projects. Just to check if I miss something important. I told you what is select, then select distinct. I told you what is where clause. Okay, order by. Let's try to deep dive into order by as well. Order by is simply like sort. Nothing, I'm going to say rocket science. For example, select star from table. Now somebody can tell me, can you please sort it in the ascending order based on material number? I can say, okay, no problem. I can simply say order by Matner. That's it. If you do not write anything after Matner, it will be sorted in the ascending order. You see, now if you want to sort it based on descending order, so I will just write DESC means descending. Now it will be the top one first. You see?
So,
Okay. Now I can give you one interview question based on this, based on order by. If I write ASC, that means ascending. If I don't write ASC, it still means ascending. Okay, now there might be an interview question. For example, there is a table where I have a group of students with the marks. Say someone has out of 100, someone has 10, someone has 50, someone has 60. Can you give me the student who has the highest marks? I just need one student. So how can I do it? I can do something like select star from say table, order by say marks, descending. So when I suppose this Matner is my marks over here, I'm just giving an example. Okay. Or I can say like let's do it on this one, ERSDA. I want to get the material which has the highest ERSDA. So what can I do? Order by ERSDA and I will say descending. Now this will give me the material with the highest ERSDA. Now what if I want to get the top one? Think this ERSDA is marks. If I want to see which student has the highest marks, I can just do select top one star. So when I say top one star, it will only give me the first one. So doesn't this mean this material has the highest ERSDA? If someone wants to see top 5 students with the highest marks, I can say select top 5, right? Now, if someone wants to see who has the lowest marks, I can simply remove descending. It will be ascending. Now, these will be like the students who have the lowest. You see, you guys follow me? This is what is called by, when do we use order by? Order by is used to sort data. You can sort the data based on ascending order, descending order, and you can have 2 interview questions in this. Can you give me the student who has the highest marks, or top 3 students having highest marks? You can do it based on order by. Or top 5 students, top 3 students having the lowest marks, you can also do it like this. Then order by and or not. I told you we don't need insert, update. Okay, min max. Let's see min and max as well. Min and max is a function that will give me the minimum and maximum out of the data. For example, I just want to see select minimum. That's the reason I keep on requesting. Please keep on working on your SQL. The moment you have your hands on SQL, it's very easy. BODS is simply like a paint, MS Paint, but internally it's working on SQL. Whosoever has good SQL skills, it's easy for you. It's easy for him or her to understand BODS. So what does min give me? Min will give me the minimum of the lot. As of now, see, for the material number 0001 is the minimum. Same way, I can also get maximum of the lot. This is the maximum value. Or if you want to do sum, I can also do that. I don't know if it will sum up. It might give me an error because there are Z fields as well. Yes, because only numeric type is allowed. If you want to do a sum of the values, you can also use sum. If you want to do count, how many materials are there? You can simply use count. Okay, there are 23,301 materials. Like is important. In is important. Joins are important. Then self join, union, group by, having, exists. Rest of the things we don't need. So what I want you guys to do is please work on these things. One, just try to write basic select statements. That is one. Second, try to know about and or operators. Then try to learn about wildcards. Wildcards is like operator. Okay. Then please learn about joins. Then subquery. I just need like basic subquery. I don't need something complex. And that's it. If you guys can help me with these 5-6 things, I promise your data migration or BODS journey is going to be easy. Okay, let's take a 10-minute break and come back. And then I will start with information stewards and data profiling and data cleansing in the discovery phase. Let's start with data profiling. Someone has to go on mute. Need for data cleansing and information. What is data profiling? Can someone just tell me from the definition what he or she understands by data profiling? Anyone?
Is it something to mapping it properly? How the data will look like? Something,
No.
I guess.
No, no, yeah, take a guess. It's okay.
Mm.
That's fine, but no, not relevant to that.
Okay, okay. Oh, sure.
Yeah.
It will be more like the set of characteristics that should comply with the information. So information has a purpose. So you expect to that information provides a certain set of characteristics and rules. That's profiling, I believe.
Yeah, perfectly fine. So what if I say data profiling from the layman terms? It's like having an initial check on data. When I say initial, first let me understand who is the least experienced person in this group. Who is a fresher?
Oh, I'm completely new in this field.
Okay. Anyone else who does not know SAP? Nothing. Who is new to SQL?
I'm new to SAP actually.
So what if I say that data profiling is an initial check on the data, how my data is looking like in the SAP legacy system, not only in SAP, any legacy system, how my data is looking like. So initial checks on data in legacy system. That's what I call as data profiling. I'm profiling data. Now, someone might ask me, when do we do this data profiling, data cleansing? I will say before data migration in the discovery phase. Someone might ask me, why should I do it? Why are the clients spending on it? Because they want their data migration process to be smooth. It will help me to avoid any last minute hiccups. Now I can give you examples. Suppose there is a client A and client B. Client A is telling me I don't have the budget for data cleansing or data profiling. I will straight away go with data migration. But client B, he wants to first do the data profiling, data cleansing, and then he wants to move ahead with the data migration. Now, how will the two scenarios differ? See, for client A, the moment he's trying to create master data, transactional data, mostly transactional data, he will see that the header materials are missing, header customers are missing, profit centers are missing, cost centers are missing, because he did not analyze his data properly before migrating the master data to his target system, right? But now, if anyone is doing proper profiling, proper data cleansing, there will not be any last minute surprises during the data migration. Your data migration cycles are going to be smooth, because I will know in advance how many materials do I need to create in S4, how many, if I need certain transactional data in my S4, what is the master data that I need upfront. I will first I will go with master data load, then I will go with transactional data load, right? Now, master data, okay, some 200 customers are marked for deletion, I will not migrate them, that's okay. But the moment you hit system with your transactional data, you will find like, okay, I have 600 customers missing. Now that's a last minute surprise. So in order to avoid that, I will always go with data profiling. Keep it in mind, there are two pillars of any implementation project. One is data profiling, cleansing, data profiling, which leads to cleansing. And second one is data migration. In data profiling, suppose I already discussed there are two types of approaches. Top to bottom approach, where I will analyze my master data first and then I will analyze my transactional data. And the second one is a bottom to top approach, where I will analyze my transactional data, then I will analyze my master data. If you ask me which one of the two I like personally, I would like bottom to top approach, because that's easy. See, for example, I need to migrate sales orders. When I plan to load sales orders in S4 HANA system, I will first check upfront in the legacy system. How many customers do I need? I will also check how many customers do I need at the sales org level, right? Same goes with the materials. I would like to check how many materials do I need in S4? How many materials do I need at the sales org level? Now the second question is, what if these customers or materials are marked for deletion? The moment a customer or material is marked for deletion, your business or the master data guys, they are not going to migrate that data to the MDG system. What will happen? We have a last minute surprise. So in order to avoid that, I will use a tool called information stewards. What will I do in information stewards? I will create some rules, then I will pass my legacy data through these rules. Now it will give me failed data, if any. and I will analyze that data. What will I do after analyzing the failed data? I can take the mitigation decisions. Now let me elaborate. How to do it?
Hey, you know, ZaranTech now offers SAP corporate training. That's right. Train your workforce in SAP with our comprehensive program. We offer customized courses, certified trainers, and hands-on labs for both individuals and businesses. Our standout features? Bespoke training, fully configured servers for practice, in-house materials, and a dedicated LMS. Plus, get session recordings and 24/7 support. From functional to technical modules, we have got it all. Choose ZaranTech for SAP training and watch your team excel. Learn, upskill, succeed with ZaranTech.
I will show you, but understand the concept. In my information stewards, I create a rule. I ask my data owner who is responsible for sales orders, say for example. I ask him for what sales organization you are planning to migrate data. Suppose he tells me, brother, I need to move sales order, SO is sales order, for sales org XYZ. Okay. So I will have a basic filter on the sales org table and I will extract data for sales organization XYZ. I will push it to some view or table, right? Say, for example, I am pushing this data to the HANA Studio table, like VBAK underscore XYZ, something like that. Inside information stewards, I will create a rule that if the rule 1, customer mark for deletion at the basic level, that is KNA1 level. Rule 2, customer mark for deletion at the sales org level. Rule 3, customer mark for deletion, material mark for deletion at the basic level, material mark for deletion at the sales org level. Now I will pass my data, legacy data, through these rules. Whatever data is failing, it means that such customers are marked for deletion at the basic level, sales org level, materials are marked for deletion. Okay. Now what will I do with this failed data? I will have some calls with my data owner. I will ask him, if you are planning to migrate data for sales org XYZ, there are 30 customers which are marked for deletion at the general view, that is KNA1. Say 15 customers marked for deletion at the sales org level. Say 100 materials marked for deletion at the basic level, or say 20 materials marked for deletion at the sales org level. Now, if these are marked for deletion, obviously our MDG team is not going to migrate these records. So what is the plan? What is the mitigation decision? Okay, there are different mitigation decisions. Say after analyzing this data, he will tell me like, let me analyze the data. And then I can come across or come up with the mitigation plan or mitigation decision. Mitigation decision 1, for example, he can tell me, I need all these sales contracts or sales orders. I will do cleansing in the source. So he will take my failed data. He will go to his legacy system and delete the deletion indicator. If someone wants to know what is a deletion indicator, simply it's KNA1 and the field is LOEVM. Same thing with KNVV. KNVV is a customer table for sales org extension. It also has table field LOEVM. Now MARA, it will be LVORM, deletion indicator. MVKE, it's a sales org table for materials. Same LVORM, it's the deletion indicator. So what my business can do is, they can tell me, okay, let me go back to my legacy system and let me remove the deletion indicator. That's mitigation decision 1. Okay, I will go ahead with the cleansing. Mitigation decision 2. I can see as of now there are 900 sales orders which are having problems in the source. When I analyze this data, out of 900, for 800 sales orders, I am going to do the cleansing, but I could see there are 100 sales orders where the customer is marked for deletion at the general level. So I do not need such sales orders. I do not want such sales orders in the migration scope. So what would be my answer? Okay, if you do not need such sales orders, please keep this in your extraction criteria. So what will be the extraction criteria now? Now, straight away, the extraction criteria for sales order object, it's going to get changed. Initially, what was the extraction criteria? I need sales orders for sales organization XYZ. Then there will be one more line added in the extraction criteria. Exclude sales orders when customer is marked for deletion at KNA1 level, right? This can be by mitigation decision 2 or mitigation decision 3. My data owner will tell me I could figure out of these 900, 850 sales orders, I need them in the target system. I will cleanse the system in the source. 50 I don't need. So I am going to close them. So can you please extract data where the creation date is greater than, where the sales order creation date is greater than, say, ABCD, DDMMYY? Then I will again ask him, can you please update the extraction criteria? So he will again add one more line, include sales order when creation date is greater than, say, 1/1/2020. So my extraction criteria is getting refined. How is it getting refined? With the help of my profiling. So how is information stewards helping me now? It's helping me to profile data. It's helping me to get my data cleansed in the source. And it's also helping me to refine my extraction criteria. This is how the extraction criteria or the mapping documents are getting created. Okay, now I can also come up with one more mitigation plan. What if I find out of these 900 sales orders, I don't have any issues in cleansing data for 890 sales orders. Okay, I will cleanse the system. But for 10 sales orders, I feel like we do not need these, since the sales orders are marked for deletion at KNVV level. When I say KNVV level, I mean sales org level. I am not planning to extend these sales orders to sales org ABCD. In legacy, if the sales org is ABCD, in target, I want you to change it to XYZ. So what will I tell him? Okay, can you please go to the extraction criteria and give me, mention this XREF? What is the XREF now? XREF simply means changing your source data to target relevant. So what is XREF? What he is going to mention in the XREF? He will tell me, hey, if there is a B, C, D sales org, change it to X, Y, Z, X. So this will form the basis of my data harmonization now. What is data harmonization? Data harmonization, if I explain in the basic terms, for example, my business or my client, they have a plant P123. Now they are not planning to use this plant 123 in target now. They had it in their source. They are planning to dismantle it. But when I see their legacy system, I could see like 190 materials which are extended to plant P123. So I will go to my client. I will ask him what is going to happen with this, with these 190 materials which are extended to P123. They can tell me we are planning to create a new plant P2345, P234. So whenever you are having a plant P123 in target, you need to change it to P234. What is this ultimately? This is an XREF. Data harmonization is happening. Same thing can go with cost centers, profit centers, sales organizations, condition types, anything. So this is how information stewards leads to data cleansing. It leads to the creation of extraction criterias, coming up with well-refined extraction criterias, coming up with the, say, mapping documents. Now, when we see our mapping document, we sometimes feel like, okay, the functional owner is mentioning some rules, or he is mentioning change plant 123 to 124. But how did he know that I need to change plant 123 to 124? Everything happens in the discovery phase. When we profile data, we help the clients in understanding how their data should look like in the target system, how the cleansing should happen. Now, take For example, some organization who does not want to go ahead with the data profiling or data quality, they do not want to analyze this data, they straight away want to go with migration. At the very last moment, they will get some good amount of surprises, right? Now someone is saying like, hey, my project is a mess because I'm not able to create sales orders. Why? Because 200 materials are not present in the target. Now what to do? This is the reason, because they are not profiling data properly. Does this make sense? Why should I use information stewards? What is data profiling? How does data profiling lead to data cleansing? How does data profiling lead to the refinement of extraction criteria, data harmonization, XREF creation? Any questions on that?
Brad, what kind of rules you will put in?
Don't go into the technicals, buddy. First, try to understand.
Generally, I'm asking what kind of
No.
rules.
I am going to start that. I am going to start that right away. But first, did you understand why do I need information stewards?
Yeah.
I will create rules. What rules I will tell you. But is the concept clear? Why do I need information stewards? What is data profiling? How does the data profiling lead to data cleansing? What are the mitigation decisions that might be possible for an object? And how does this data cleansing, or sorry, data profiling lead to the refinement of extraction criteria, data harmonization, mapping documents? If this is clear, then I would like to introduce you to information stewards.
So I just want a basic idea, like this process definitely depend on the amount of the data, but any idea like how much time this data profiling will take?
It depends on the number of objects, and I have seen like
Yes.
for some clients it takes like 2-3 months, but for some client it takes like maybe a year. But it does take time. Why? Because most of the clients, they are adamant like, hey, we do not want to do cleansing as of now, and we want to do the cleansing when you do it for the UAT, then you can share the reports with us, we will do the cleansing. But there are some clients who understand the need, they go to their source system, they keep on cleaning the data, they keep on cleansing the data. But again, there is like, for master data it's easy to clean, but the moment we have transactional data, fast changing data, so it takes time. If you tell me in the nutshell, 3 months to maybe 1 year it takes like for data profiling. But it's not like it's a showstopper for the data migration. Both these pillars can go hand in hand. I am doing data profiling, I am in parallel doing the migration cycle 1, migration cycle 2, my UAT, and your data profiling, it will always be relevant to the production data, right? Live production data, you will extract that production data and production data from the, I mean to say, from this legacy system, and you will keep on running these rules on top of the production data, and you will keep on refining your data, you will keep on making your data as clean as possible, so that when we go for the production loads to S4 HANA, we don't have any last minute surprises, we have the smooth migration cycles.
So what role would someone who's completely new in this data migration field and SAP have in an organization?
Sorry?
What role, like me, Pooja, I'm completely new in this field, data migration, and I am first time I'm learning SAP. So what role would I have if I get a job in this field?
All the roles that I'm discussing, like data profiling, you will be doing with the use of information stewards. You can pitch yourself as information stewards developer, you can pitch yourself as ODS developer, you can pitch yourself as data migration consultant. But that depends on, since you are new to SAP world, that depends on your efforts, how much efforts you are willing to push in. It will definitely help you. But yeah, this is like end-to-end data migration.
Initially, when we make our resumes, we have to put a headline, like, right? We have to put a role, right? So what roles are we applying?
No, it's not like you can apply for BODS role. If you see, I will be brutally honest with you. If you are planning to take this course in bits and pieces, not you but anyone, like, hey, I want to just focus on information stewards, not on bots, or someone is planning, I will focus on BODS but not on the migration, it's like, to be honest with you, it's like just missing out on the opportunity. When someone is telling me I am an end-to-end data migration expert, I am expecting him to know information stewards so that it covers his discovery phase, data discovery phase, I am expecting him to know bots so that he can migrate data, and I am expecting him to know SAP system, S4 HANA system. How does the data flow? SAP data migration is money. If you want to make more money, you have to practice more. As simple as that. Because there are n number of bots consultants who are not having the expertise in migration. There are n number of people who can migrate data using migration cockpit, that but they do not know about discovery phase, that is information stewards. So that there's a missing link. If I get a chance to hire someone, would I hire a missing link, a person with a missing link, or someone who helps me end to end, even though he asks me for some more money?
Someone who helps you end to end.
That's it. Try to upskill yourself. It's like if you are starting fresh, it's easy for you to, I mean to say, grasp. You don't have to delete something in your mind and then learn something new. For people who already are in some skills, they have to delete something and then maybe unlearn something, then learn something new. For freshers, it's easy.
Question, can I ask?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Yeah, like as Pooja mentioned that she's fresher and all, and like you all mentioned, you'll have access to servers and all. So is it like going to be like in practice when when you'll be teaching us? So you'll be telling us, we have an activity where we have a data in EC system, and you are supposed to basically, under your guidance, we are supposed to migrate the data from EC to S4 HANA. So is there a possibility that we'll be doing this kind of activity also under your guidance?
Definitely. Whatever I do in information stewards, whatever I do in a BODS, whatever object I migrate to S4, you all guys will be doing it. That's the reason I said in the webinar, it's not going to be something I will read from the decks, give you theoretical knowledge. That's not going to help. And to be honest, we don't do it here. So what if you attend all my sessions, you would be able to load data to S4 HANA using an IDOC, using a BAPI, using LSMW, using migration cockpit, and you should be able to do profiling using information stewards. But see, I have been doing the same thing since 13 years. So it's like a cakewalk for me. But for you guys, you have to take the whole week and you have to keep on revising. You have to keep on practicing. You already have the servers, right? My technical team will maybe give you the access to servers. You should keep on practicing. Otherwise, if you feel like, okay, I will come on one fine day, that is Saturday, and one fine day on Sunday, listen to me, it's not going to help, to be honest. You have to practice it yourself. More you practice, more easy it's going to get for you. It's not something like theoretical. It's pure like hands-on experience, which is going to help you. More objects you do on your own, more easy the journey is going to be for you, because SAP is like an ocean. Even I worked on like 40-45 objects, but there are 120 plus. Even if I get a new object, I have to start from scratch. But it's okay. Once you know how to load data using IDOC, even if you get 1 lakh objects or 100,000 objects, it doesn't matter, because configuring an IDOC is the same thing. The concepts are same. Only the tables are going to get changed. That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. But the only thing is you have to push in more efforts. This is how a typical mapping document looks like. Inside your each object, be it customer, vendor, material, sales order, sales contract, it will have a mapping document, or it will have a DDD, data design document. Now, mostly your data design document will look like this. There will be different sheets. What does this control info tell me? It tells me what is the object ID for your object. Say, for example, I'm trying to migrate data for material master. Each object will have some object ID. Okay, then who is the author, who is the object owner, when did he sign it? Now there can be different versions. For example, I tried to create this mapping document, I being a functional owner, so it's not in our scope to create it. All the mapping documents, they are created by the functional owner. They give us this mapping document and we have to read it, write the code in BODS, and then migrate data to S4 as per the expectations. Whatever is written in this mapping document is like a Bible to us. We have to follow it. Now, what happens inside this? I can have different versions. For example, on 22nd of August, I got the initial draft, I worked on it. But now, after analyzing the data, they told me like, hey, we want to make some changes to the existing DDD. They can write the changes and I will make those changes in the code. Why would someone have different versions to the DDD? The reason is mostly in the data migration projects, we give some effort estimation to the client. Hey, I am going to take 60 hours for the code, for my code development for material master. Now, when I'm charging my client, he sees I'm charging 80 hours. He can question me. Hey, you asked me for 60 hours. Now, why are you charging me 80 hours for material master? I can straight away go to this document info control. I can show him, hey, there were so many changes in the extraction criteria in the mapping document here and there. So this is the reason there are additional efforts. So in order to save the developers, we always have something called as document control info, where even if there's a minute change, we will just mark it down over here so that there is no question on the efforts we raise in the timesheets later on. That is one thing. The second thing is extraction criteria. So in the extraction criteria, they have to mention everything. For example, I know from if I have to migrate material master as per this mapping document, I need to consider the Mara, that is my header table, and LWOM, that is a deletion indicator, should be blank. So it means I cannot migrate any material which is marked for deletion. This is my extraction criteria. The second extraction criteria would be, hey, if you are I am also planning to migrate plant data, that is Marcy, and from plant data, if again LWOM should be blank. What does this mean? It means if any plant material is marked for deletion at the plant level, I do not need it, and I can my client can also tell me something like this: Marcy, WERKS, works. I just need to extract data for works is equal to say 1, 2, 3, 4. So what does this mean? It means if I try to read it, it means, okay, I have two tables in scope. One is Mara, and I will not be extracting any record where the material is marked for deletion, because if it was marked for deletion, LVORM is equal to X. Blank means not marked for deletion. X means marked for deletion. Okay, I am also planning to load plant data, but only for plant 1, 2, 3, 4. And if the plant extension is marked for deletion, it's not in my scope. So everything, whatever is in the extraction criteria, it will be mentioned in the sheet. Then they will give me the mapping. How does a typical mapping document look like? There will be mostly two sections, the target section and the source section. If the data is coming from ECC, then it makes sense. Okay, Mara Matner goes to Mara Matner. But what if the data is coming from Oracle system? There can be different tables and different fields. So they have to give us the proper mapping. Okay, say for example, this in the source, there's a table Mara. It has a field Matner. It has to go to Mara Matner. Now, this is the mapping from source to target. And then they can also give me something like transformation. Is it 1:1 transformation? 1:1 means as is. Whatever is in the legacy system, just transfer it to the target system. If somebody tells me not applicable or not in scope, it means Mara VPSTA field is not in my scope. I'm not going to extract it, or I'm not going to load it in the target system. Same thing, PStat, it's in scope as is. Whatever is in the legacy, use it. Now, sometimes they can also tell me, hey, there's an XREF that you need to use. For material type, I need to use XREF. Check XREF for material type. Let me check the XREF. Now, what is the XREF? If material type in legacy is FERT, change it to HAFE. If it's XXXX, change it to YYYY. This is the XREF they have given me for material type. Or they can give me the material, I mean to say, something called as transformation. Now, what is the transformation? If the material group is XX, change the material group to 0, 1. Otherwise, as it is. So they can give you, if 1:1, that is as is, they can give you not applicable or not in scope. We will not migrate this field to the target system. They can give us XREFs, they can give us rules, transformations, but everything will be written in the mapping document. If there are any XREFs, they will share those XREFs with us. If there are any additional notes, they will also share those additional notes with us. This is how a typical mapping document looks like. Any questions on this? Now, it's not like if company A is using this mapping document, all the companies in the world will use same structure. No, I'm just giving you a high level picture of how a typical mapping document looks like.
I have this question. Can you elaborate a little more on the difference between harmonization and transformation, it sounds very much like they overlap.
Okay. Transformation is what you do to make your data relevant to S4. You are transforming data. You are changing plant 1 to plant 2. That is, you are transforming data. But on what basis you are transforming that data? Someone has to give you XREF, right? Someone has to tell you those rules, or someone has to tell you the mapping. Plant 1 to plant 2, plant X to plant Y.
Correct.
That creation of XREFs, we refer to it as data harmonization in the discovery phase.
What sets ZaranTech apart in SAP corporate training? It's our unique blend of expertise and innovation. We offer customized courses tailored to each client's needs, ensuring relevant, targeted learning. Our vast trainer database brings you wisdom from the best in the field. Need resources? Access our extensive training material repository anytime. We are all about measurable results, providing detailed student metrics to track progress. And we don't just teach, we build community. Join our thriving social media network, connecting learners beyond boundaries. With ZaranTech, you are not just training, you are transforming your SAP expertise.
How does a client know I need to change from plant 1 to plant 2? Or how does the functional owner come to know that I need to change plant 1 to plant 2? When he sits with the client, your client tells us, my client tells me, hey, I am planning to dismantle plant 1. What is my duty? I will go to Marcy. I will check how many materials are extended to plant 1. I will tell him, hey, if you are planning to dismantle plant 1, there are 100 materials which are currently extended to plant 1. What are you planning to do there? Okay, I am going to create a plant P2 in target. You need to make this plant 1 and change it to plant P2 in target. So he is giving me an XREF. So what is internally happening? Harmonization is happening, right? This is just a technical term. We are harmonizing data. We are always trying to make sure that our data is in sync with the S4 HANA system. Now, if I come up with P1 system and try to hit S4 HANA system, P1 plant will not be there because they dismantled it. They will not configure it in S4. What will happen? I will face like, hey, my materials are not getting extended to plant P1. They will not, because P1 is not there. They decided they will not create it. They dismantled it. They already gave us the harmonization that P1 has to be changed to P2. Now, when I change this P1 to P2, I am doing a transformation. Follow it?
Yeah, one is like the rule and the other is the actual action, right? The transformation.
Yeah, you can say like that. This is
okay.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah, perfect, no problem. If this is clear, I would now like to take you. Okay, now the second sheet I want to showcase is the typical information steward rules template. Each and every organization, they have a template sort of thing. They will have some rules, because each company is doing this data migration. They have like 10-15 rules for each object, for material, customer, based on their experience, right? So if I have some rules for material master, I will take these baseline rules. I will have a call with my client. Hey, I am planning to use these rules on top of your data. Does this make sense to you? For example, I'm going to check material marked for deletion at basic level. Okay, I agree. Please do it. I am going to check if any material is marked for deletion at the plant level in source. Okay, I agree. But what if there's a rule on field MSTAE? I am checking what are the different statuses over there. And my client tells me, hey, this rule does not make sense to me because I'm not even populating this field. Some businesses can populate a field, some cannot. Some say some don't, right? So he can tell me, hey, this rule does not make sense to me. Please remove this. I don't need it. Or he can tell me, on top of these two rules, can you please create one more rule? Where, for example, I am trying to create rules for my customer. I'm checking customer mark for deletion at source, customer mark for deletion at company code, customer mark for deletion at sales org, length email address should be like valid. But now my client is telling me, hey, can you please add one more rule? I want to check if my telephone numbers are also valid, if my fax numbers are also valid. So the moment you would initially you will have some baseline rules in your organization. Those baseline rules for an object, you will have some calls with your business. Your business will either agree, yes, all the rules are making sense to me, please go to information stewards and create these rules. Or he can tell you, no, rule number 2, it does not make sense to me. I'm not maintaining any material at the plant level. Please delete it. Or he can tell you, hey, would you mind creating one more rule for a customer where I want to check how many customers have invalid email, how many customers have invalid telephone number, how many customers have invalid fax number. So I will keep on creating the rules like rule 3, rule 4, rule 5, and then I will create those rules in information stewards. This is the baseline, like how we initially start the discussion for rules. Do you guys agree with me, or any questions over here?
Makes sense.
Okay, now sorry, how do I read it? I am creating a rule. My rule ID is R001. In some organization it can be R001X. Depends. Now, what is this rule doing? Your client should be able to understand it, right? I'm telling him, hey, I'm going to create a rule on top of your source data where I'm checking if any material is marked for deletion at the basic level. Okay. What is the table that's going to get involved? Mara. What is the field? LVORM. What is the SAP field description? This template, it may differ. Some people do not need from G to L. That's okay. They just want to have a look at, okay, this is the rule description, this is the table, this is the table field. That's it. But some organization, they also want to keep everything in this sheet. Hey, okay, what is the SAP field description? Then what is the view name that I'm going to create in SAP information stewards? Then how are you, I mean to say, what is the basic SQL query that you are using? But these columns L to I, they make sense or they do not make sense. This is not important for us. What is important for us is the rule description. Then what is the quality dimension I can have? Quality dimension in information stewards, you can have multiple quality dimension like integrity, like completeness. So there are multiple quality dimension, and each rule will have a unique quality dimension. Okay, and this is just for the technical guys. Okay, I need to extract Mara and I have to create a rule on LVORM. If this makes sense to you, then I will go to information stewards and show you how to create these rules. How does a rule look like? How to like create the scorecards? How does it help in the cleansing? Everything. If you have any questions, please speak up. Else I will go to information stewards. Any questions? No?
No, bro, all okay.
No questions.
Okay. Okay, this is how your information stewards is going to look like. Okay.
Okay.
Now, if you see, you can have different projects created over here. For example, I want to work on a project like PJ Test UK. We can create new projects from the CMC console. How to create that, maybe I can show you in the next session. I don't have that link handy as of now. So we can create different projects. For example, in your project, there can be different modules, for example, or there can be different streams like E2O, like L2C, like P2X, P2P. So I can create one object per stream, or there can be different regions. I can create one project for UK, one for US. It depends on the need. So as of now, I created a project, say project UK. Now, when I go inside this project, I can see different windows over here. So this is central management console, Here I can also, I told you, like I can create different projects. I can delete different projects in information.
Yeah, this is what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. You don't need to go there. You need see, you are going to the wrong link. Not SAP CMC Access. You have to go to SAP Information Stewards. This is the link. You have.
So once I go
CMC.
there, I can choose the information steward. I chose that, but
no. That's CM. Listen to me. CMC is for like setting. That's a link for setting the system up. I do not want you to go to SAP CMC Access. I want you to go to SAP Information Stewards.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. Now I told you in this central management console CMC, I can create or delete projects, right? Let me create one new project straight away. For example, I can go to data connections. I don't remember. Data insights. Yes, data insights. Then data projects. See, I have project test UK as of now over there. If I want to create a new project, create a new, new data insight project. Okay, let's say I name it as project underscore profiling underscore April. Save. Now this should get reflected over here. Where is that? Yeah, this is the one. You see, project profiling April. So if I want to create or I want to do some administration of the information stewards or even data services, I go to the central management console. This is of no use to you guys. You should go to information stewards. Now let me try to go inside this profiling project. Now just keep it in mind, your information stewards, it's sitting on top of your HANA DB. So whatever tables you extract from your source into HANA DB, you can access those tables inside this, what do you call that, information stewards. Okay, it's not connected directly to your SAP or your legacy system. No, you have to extract that data using data services into the HANA DB, and your information stewards is sitting on top of your HANA DB. Now this is how your typical information stewards is looking like. What is the first step that I need to do? I need to import the table. I need to do some profiling on top of some table, right? So I need that data. I need that table inside this information steward. Let us get some table first. Let me check which table we can use, and then I will show you how to do it.
So now I see all the list of projects there from the link you mentioned, but I don't see the option to create the project.
But why would you create it? You will only create. No, why would you create it? See, basically, in your real-time projects, you will not be given the access to the central management console, because
I'm not going there. Yeah.
Someone will create the project. For example, now since you guys want to practice it, you can go to central management console, and then you can open the info. You can click on information stewards. Once you click on information steward, you can click on projects. Now you see all these projects.
1 second, please.
If you want to create,
I don't see that actually. Like, where did it go? Information steward. 1 second. I see that. I see the data insight.
You see this now? Click on projects.
Projects is not there, but the data insight is there, and then the data review is there. Oh,
no,
yeah.
Click
on. See,
okay.
Got it.
Now right click on projects. Create. Right. No, you do it because you will also practice it, right? You click on project. Click on new. Then click on data inside project.
Data inside project. Got it.
Yes. Once you click it, just write proj _ maybe your user ID. What is your user ID?
Okay.
You do it. That's okay.
I'm doing it.
Yeah. So save it. And once you save it, you need to go to the information stewards. You will definitely see your, let me go to the project.
From the other link that you shared.
Yeah. The other one.
So, Brad, whose actual responsibility is the one that creates the project? Someone from Basis?
Yeah, if you need to do it, you can also do it. But usually the Basis team does it, because they will create the projects or usually the project managers. They will usually create these projects, or the data architect. He will create these projects for each stream, for each region. We will go inside these projects and do the needful. We mostly do not create these projects. But if you want to create the project, you can anytime go to central management console, and you can create a new project. The moment you create a new project, you need to refresh the information stewards, and you will see this project over here.
Okay.
Right now, I think someone created a project with the user ID. What was the user ID, buddy, you created with? Okay.
MERBODS 50. Yeah.
This one, right? SAP DMG 30.
Not that. Oh, okay. Mine is different one, but.
Okay. So.
Yeah, the MERBODS 50 is mine. Yeah.
But where is that? Did you create it?
Just below that one. Yeah. The one just below 30. Yeah.
Okay, this one. Perfect.
Yes, please.
Now you created this one for yourself. Some other guys, you can also create the project, and then you can practice it for yourself. For example, this is my project, right? Now, what do I need to do? First thing up, I need data. As I said, information stewards is sitting on top of your HANA DB. So whatever table is extracted into HANA DB, I can visualize that data over here. Now let me get hold of some table which I can use, right? Just give me a second. I need to write some rules, right? I'm just looking out for some data. Select star from this one. Let me see how this data looks like. LVO. I don't see LVORM. Just a second.
I think Mara and Marcy are the most universal ones.
No, I extract. No, that's fine. But I extract. I do not want to go inside BODS as of now to disturb you guys, right? So I already extracted some tables way back. I just want to use those tables. I do not want to use BOD. That's the reason I'm just looking out for some table. LFA100. I just want some table which has a deletion indicator. As I said, I already extracted these. How to extract these tables using BODS? I will do that in the next session. But I want to focus only on, what do you call that? Information stewards. Okay, let me take LFB1. For example, LFB1. Okay, LFB1. I want to check if anything is marked for deletion. Where LOEVM is null. No. Oh my God. X. Okay, I do have 27 records over here. Let us do the profiling on top of LFB1 table. Okay. And I want to see, my rule would be, I want to see all the vendors which are marked for deletion, say at plant 3000. I do not want to see for all the records. I just am interested in LFB1 table which are marked for deletion and where the company code is 3000. From the SQL, how many do I get? I get 15. Okay, let me now go to information stewards. The first thing that I would do in information stewards is I will import this table. As I said, your information stewards is sitting on top of your HANA DB. I already have this table inside HANA DB, so I can import it. How do I do it? I will click on plus. I can do table by name. I will select the connection. Let me check if this is the connection. Just a moment.
I took connection underscore HANA underscore DB and it worked fine.
Okay, this one, right? Yeah, it should.
Not that one. Connection underscore CONN underscore HANA underscore DB.
Where did you see that?
Could you scroll a little bit down? CONN underscore
this one?
HANA underscore DB something.
Wait. Okay, it is there. Okay, now I'm selecting the connection and I will just analyze this data if this is the same data that we saw. Okay, there is LOEVM. Okay, now I can visualize this data over here, right? Inside information stewards. If I just want to put in some filters, I can also do that. For example, I want to see LOEVM equal to X. That is all the vendors which are marked for deletion. Okay, I see the vendors marked for deletion, 27 in number, and there are multiple, what do you call that? There are multiple company codes. Now I have two choices. I can either create a rule on top of table or I can create a view inside information stewards. If I need to create, maybe like there can be a scenario where the data I need to get a report based on two tables, right? Then I need to create a view. How do I create a view? I will show you that as well. But first, let's do the profiling based on the table straight away. Now, this is my table on top of which I am planning to do the profiling. So this is my table. I already have the data. Now I need to create a rule, right? Let's go inside rules. This one is rules. I will create a rule. Say I name this rule as RU001 and I say like vendor marked for deletion. Okay, I'm not checking for any company code as of now. I'm straight away checking. I just want to run this rule and I want to check if any vendor is marked for deletion at the company code level. Okay, now who will be the information stewards, rules, profiling, everything? This is just the repetition of steps. If you remember the steps, your life is easy. Just remember the steps. So who will be the approver? Let's say administrator. This doesn't matter. Now this matters, quality dimension. These different quality dimensions are there. And the quality dimension for each rule, it will be written in that information stewards tracker, rule tracker. So you will just put the quality dimension in accordance with the tracker. For example, I want to check completeness. Now, after doing this, I will add a parameter. Let me name this parameter as $LOEVM. Okay, because I am planning to run this rule on top of LFB1 on field LOEVM. If I write something else, not LOEVM, it doesn't matter because I'm creating a parameter just for my own understanding, and I'm just naming it accordance with the table. Now, after adding the parameter, I will add expression. Now, this is the tricky part. Whenever you are creating information steward rules, please do not think that I have to fail the data. For us, the failure right now is LOEVM is equal to X. But we will not create the rule for X. We will create the rule to pass the data. What is pass data for us? LOEVM equal to X or LOEVM not equal to X? Can someone answer me?
Equal to X?
No. Equal to X is a fail data. Whenever you create information steward rules, you need to do the opposite. For me, the fail data is equal to X, but when I'm creating the information steward rules, I need to think from the past point of view. What is past data for me? Where LOEVM is not equal to X. So I am telling information steward that if LOEVM is not equal to X, that is a past data. But the moment LOEVM is equal to X, that's a fail. You need to capture that. So whenever you are creating rules in information steward, you have to think the opposite of what you are intending to do. My intention is to catch all such records where LOEVM is equal to X, but from the expression point of view, I will simply say not equal to X. I told you the reason. This is how information steward works. When I say LOEVM is not equal to X, or I can also say information is null, or I can also say equal to blank, isn't it? When LOEVM equal to blank, it means it's a pass data. And I am telling information steward, you need to pass the pass data. But whatever is failing, you need to capture that. So you will write the opposite of what you are intending. I am intending to catch LOEVM equal to X. But here I will not write LOEVM equal to X. I will write LOEVM equal to blank. Why? So that it catches my LOEVM equal to X. That's how information steward works. Let's try to validate it. I will show you more rules. Don't worry. But this is how it works. Okay. After I save it, do not click on submit for approval. It's a long task to do that. Now straight away click on this arrow and straight away approve it. Nothing to be mentioned. Just approve. Close. I have a rule now. Once I created my rule, the next step is to implement this rule or bind this rule on top of some table. For me, what is the table? I will click on this rule. I will select this rule and I will click on this option. Create a new rule binding because I need to bind this rule somewhere. Let me click on it. Now it will ask me for the source. I will click on this and I will select this table. Now, since I already created a parameter called LOEVM, it detects, okay, this is a parameter for this field. Now, if I created something like param or something, param123, then I have to select it from this drop down. But since I'm creating it like actual name LOEVM, so it automatically detects it. I will just say save and close. Okay. Now my rule is being bound to table LND LFB1 underscore 00. My 2 steps are done. Now I need to run this on top of the data. See, I created the rule. I am binding this rule to the table. Now I need to run this rule on top of data. How do I do it? I will go to workspace home. Again, I will repeat myself. These are just steps. This is damn easy. This is the easiest of all the works we do. That is information stewards. Just basic steps. That's it. Now I will go back to this workspace home. I will go to rule results. Okay. If you do not see anything over here, just click on refresh. Refresh all. Open this. I will click on this one. This is the table. I already created the rule. I already created the rule binding. Now I need to calculate the score, or I need to run the rule on top of data. So I will select this. I will click on this calculator. Calculate score. Let me name it. I say vendor marked for deletion. Okay. If you do not select anything over here, your rules are still running. But if your records which are failing are more than 500, you will not able to get them in an Excel. So we create something called as a profiler repository, and we will just select that con fail data. So what will happen if you have more than 500 records failing for this rule, you would be able to get those records in an Excel. Otherwise, you will not be able to get. I will just select this from, I think, 100 to 500 I can. And then I will save and run now. That's fine. I'm just changing this to 500. Now, is my rule running? I will go to tasks. Okay. The rule is running as of now. Let me refresh. It failed. Why? Let me check.
Because 17 vendors have deletion indicator.
No. It's not like that. The status should be success. Then only I will be able to see that failed data. This is having some issue.
Okay.
Yeah, wait.
Understand.
We will see. Just give me a second, maybe.
So there is a test option also, right? So would that be helpful?
Yeah, it would be, but just give me a second. Okay, and $NVORM equal to blank. What if I say not equal to X? I just want to see if it runs. I told you the moment I have
I did, but it did fail for me too.
Okay, then if we have this issue, then I need to I need to get this set up correctly. Maybe there is some issue with the servers. No problem. If still I am facing this issue, then I will get it set up correctly by the next session. Why? What is the issue? Okay, it does not understand equal to. Okay. Now let me check again. Let me just execute it. I'm not expecting it to give the correct result because I just need to get it checked by the server team. It seems there is some issue. Okay, just a moment. Maybe there is an issue at the repository level. Let me just remove it. Save and run now. If that's the case, then I will get it corrected. No, there is some issue. I'm sorry. I need to get it checked. I need to get the server set up correctly. Sometimes there is an issue at the server level, it's not the job server is not working for the IS. So I need to get it up again. I will connect with my server partner and get this corrected.
So who decides how much score should we give to each of these rules?
No, it's not like how much score we will give. It's always based out of 10. Now, if 60% of the data is passing and 40% of the data is failing, so it will give it a score of 6. It means 60% data is fine. And for example, you have a consolidated score of 7 out of 10. It means 70% of your overall object data is correct. As I said in the beginning, there is always a criteria like, hey, for load cycle 1, if overall data quality is 50%, we are going ahead with the mock 1. Now for mock 2, if data quality is 70%, then we will go ahead. Ultimately, till production, your data quality has to be 10 out of 10. So it depends. It's based on the client. Like they will decide, okay, for mock 1, I'm comfortable with 40%. Or a score of 4. 40 means score of 4. You follow me?
Yes, that. And another question is, all these rules, the profiling rules that you are creating, are they completely manually, or is there an option to create them automatically, at least to some extent?
For the first time, you have to create this manually, or we will create it. But if you now want to use these rules somewhere else, then you can always just export the whole project rules, everything, and then you can import it back into some other project or some in another location. For example, I have 3 locations, US, UK. I created it for UK. Now I can export this using this option, import it back into US. Then all my rules are done, all my views are done. Then I will just run it on top of US data. So
I was exploring some new tools, and there are certain tools which by default it will generate certain rules which are like common for most of the columns, and then on top of it you can recreate or redefine or refine some of those automatically generated rules as well.
Now for information servers, we have to create it.
Oh, okay.
But every time, this is a one-time activity.
Okay.
Yeah, I agree. But one time we create it, then even if we run it 100 times, we will just go to the tasks, run everything. It will give me a report or based on the latest data. So it's a one-time activity.